purpose of this video is to cover a couple of things. First is this, the LMT MARS-H, which is the 2018 release with the full ambi controls of the LMT system, as well as this, the 13.5-inch barrel, and how it fares out to 1,000 yards plus. I've had a lot of people tell me that short barrels can't go any kind of distance. I've even had people at the range see this and say, what are you shooting, something 200 yards away? We'll try shooting this 1,000 yards and over and see what happens today. So let's start off with why am I making this video. Well, first, at time of recording in January 2019, there's nothing out there that I've seen on YouTube about the MARS-H gun. And also, I'm going to address something which a lot of people have told me, which is that short 308s are useless and are no good for distance. I've long known that's not true. What we're going to do here is we're going to see if we can make this gun kind of one gun to do everything. And we're going to do 100 yards to over 1,000 yards with this gun and see how it performs. Let's talk about LMT as a general overview. LMT was founded in 1980. They've been going ever since. They've got an absolute ton of military and police contracts these days, including the British Army. The British designated marksman rifle is an LMT product. It's actually a slightly older version of this modular weapon system. Estonia, New Zealand, other people like that have adopted the guns. They're all over the place. The British police, for a large part, have adopted LMT. So I kind of had a look at this and thought, well, maybe this is the platform that I can use that'll give me that one-stop shop, the one golf club to play the entire course. Let's see how it works and what we can do with it. The way it's set up is to enable it to kind of do a little bit of everything. We have a stock that has multiple sling points. We got multiple sling points at the front. That means I can actually patrol with it, work with it. We've got this that's adjustable, allows me to shoot for precision, or I can swap it out for something a little bit faster, easier. Then we have the primary optic that allows me to get out to 1,000 yards plus very easily, actually. A non-magnified optic. And then we've got all of the night vision stuff here with this BE Meyers MAWL. Overall, great gun. Kind of really does everything I want it to right now. It's suppressed, so it's nice and quiet. Short barrel, I can get in and out of vehicles relatively easier. It's still a long gun overall. It's a 308 large frame. But I thought I'd address that and let's see if we can make this gun kind of be our gun to do everything. So if I want something that kind of do long range, not as good as this, but reasonable, and then short range, not as good as this, but reasonable, and I want to be able to use it at night, I want to be able to use it during the day at any distance I choose out to 1,000 plus yards, well, man, I think this is it. Let's have a look. So looking at the lower in a little bit more detail, we see the stock, the designated marksman stock. As we move forward, we know that we've got that standard length buffer tube, but also there's something I had to do here to make it that one golf club for the whole course, is LMTs I find are very overgassed. Running a short barrel with a suppressor, even more overgassed. So I actually did something here which deviates from the LMT standard. I have the LMT standard spring in here, but I actually installed one of the heavybuffers.com XH buffers in here. This slows down the reciprocation of the bolt considerably, makes it really, really pleasant to shoot, and I don't get any additional gas. Moving forward for the rest of the stock, I actually replaced the LMT grip. That LMT Ergo-made grip is kind of, the thing. It's how you can tell an LMT from a distance. But I prefer this grip, so I end up using this. I can also store stuff in here much easier. It's a lot more secure. I've had that LMT bottom come off, and I'm not a big fan of that. So this keeps all of my guns the same. I have this on 99% of my guns. Then we have here you have the right side selector. So the selector is ambidextrous. See here we've got both the left and the right hand side selector. That's pretty standard these days. Most people have ambidextrous selectors, but here's where it changes. Right here we have a bolt release. This is a right hand side bolt catch and bolt release. If I press it, you can actually see it engage and then disengage. Fantastic system, full ambi. Also, I'm never going to use that. I like using this finger for dropping magazines or pulling triggers. I don't like to have to learn something new here. I don't have to use it. It's way out the way. I can actually sit it here. I can get straight to the mag release. Works perfect. So I also have here the LMT trigger. This is the winter trigger guard. You see there's a lot of extra space. Reminds me of somebody else's trigger guard who LMT also make their lowers. So it's kind of cool to see that they've adopted that. So what you can see here is this ambidextrous magazine release. So if I'm carrying it with a sling and it's this side's up against my chest, it's not accidentally going to get pressed because I've got this big hood. And it's a fantastic feature. It shows it really thought things through. A lot of heritage behind LMT, a lot of knowledge. You can really see that in design choices like this, covering this up fully. Then we also see we have a really nicely beveled mag well. Mag changes are nice and quick. It's excellently done. Really like it. Something else which is unique to LMT is this trigger. So they're wire ADM'd in-house at LMT. Really nice two-stage match trigger. I run Geisley triggers in 99% of my guns. I've had no reason to change this out. This works fantastic. I'm going to stick with it. Really good. Got no complaints whatsoever. So this is a monolithic upper. It's one piece from front to back. It's made from one block of aluminum. That gives you excellent strength, excellent ability to match and retain zero. Like if I put something out front here, there's going to be no deviation from if it was back here. It's the same piece of rail. So as we move forward, what we see are the two screws. If I remove those, they'll actually allow the barrel to come out. I can change that barrel out for anything else with a 308 pairing case. So that's 308, 6.5 Creedmoor. There's a bunch of different weird rounds like 338 Federal and stuff that nobody's ever going to shoot, but 6.5 Creedmoor and 308 are the good choices here. This is the 13.5-inch barrel. All of these LMT barrels are actually broach cut by Rock, and then they're finished off by LMT. They're a fantastic barrel. I really like it for what it is. It's not a match barrel. Like this barrel's better, right? Like this gun as an overall shooting distance gun is a better gun. It doesn't do everything in terms of like shooting long range, short range, and being a bit of a do-all everything gun as well as this gun does. So although this gun is capable of quarter-minute MOA at any distance I care to shoot it at, what I really wanted to do was see if this barrel could reach half to three-quarter MOA for all of the distances I want to use it at. Now, this is the 5R stainless steel barrel. It's a lightweight profile, so it cuts down that front weight a little bit because I'm adding a bit more with the suppressor. Really pleased with it. I also have a 308 barrel in 16-inch. Again, that's a really nice barrel. So really pleased with kind of the way this came out and the LMT quality there. If we look at the optics, like I said, I want this to be an overall do-everything gun. I have a Steiner 3 to 15. 3 power gives me that ability to calm down a little bit and see a little bit more. 15 allows me to push out and hit those 1,000-yard distances at ease. It's on a Sphur mount. These are incredible, rock solid, same as the gun, kind of matches. Trijicon RMR here, that's 1 power, no magnification. What I've actually done is this is 0 to 100 yards, so I can do 100 yards and in. It also allows me to stay cammed up to 15 power here if I wish, and still get really quickly on something from 0 to 600 yards using the RMR, and then just switch my view to the optic when I'm already zoomed in. So there's kind of a nice feature there. Something you see on spotting scopes actually a lot. That's kind of where I stole the idea, and it works really well. Then as we move forward, this is the BE Meyers MAWL. This is the night vision unit for illumination and designation. I've really not found anything better. I have military PEC 15s. I have pretty much every commercial product out there, like all of the Steiners and all that stuff, some of the older laser devices, some of the Surefires. This beats all of them. It's a far nicer pattern. It's really nice because it's out of the way. If we looked at like the Steiner D2, the only one that even comes close, that actually sits kind of halfway up in front of this scope. So the way the MAWL is set is it's offset, so it doesn't interfere with the view in my scope whatsoever. The other thing you'll see I've done is I do have a Knights flip up front and rear. I'm a big fan of having those backup systems. I've never used a backup, like this is reliable, this is reliable, this is reliable, but I just kind of like having them, so they're on there. As we move forward, I've got the bipod, which is on a quick release. I won't be using that bipod very often. This is just for shooting on a flat range and getting an initial 0 and shooting out to some distance there. Then we come forward to the suppressor. This is the Thunder Beast 308 suppressor. It's the Ultra 7. It makes the entire length of barrel 20.5 inches. Easy short enough for everything I want, easy long enough for everything I want, and we'll see that as we go further and do some shooting. Here's the charging handle. Charging handle, I went for the full ambi charging handle. It's actually got really big overhang at the top here, kind of reminiscent of the PRI gas buster. Then it has also the two big overhangs at the bottom. Not only do they give you more space to grab with gloved hands in cold weather conditions, it's fantastic for containing that gas and pushing it back forward when you do get some gas coming through the system. Really, again, no reason to change this. It's fantastically well made, great product. As we look at the bolt carrier group here, this is the 308 enhanced full auto bolt carrier group. There's a couple of cool features about this. So here's the full auto bit. That adds a little bit of extra weight that allows me to slow down the reciprocation of that bolt even more alongside that heavy buffer and kind of reduce that gas coming back through the system. The really cool thing that I've never seen anybody else do is these two cuts here on the bottom of the carrier. They allow me to insert a full magazine without having to push really hard. Like if you've got the standard carriers without these cuts, you kind of have to smack that magazine in when it's full really hard to get it to seat, not fall out again. This allows you to really gently press, and it relieves the pressure on those top rounds, which is really nice. Then as we go forward, we'll see we've got fully stress relief bolt, chrome lined, same with the carrier, works really well. We've got the dual extractors. It's got all of the modern features of a really nice bolt carrier group. Just seems to work. Great gun. Really excited about kind of getting this out there. Let's see how it performs on the range. So from the shooter's point of view here, what we've got on the right is the 100. Over to the left there is the 200. And then behind that is the 3. Bear in mind the 100, because the guy that dropped the berms is an idiot, is actually 130, but the 2 and 3 are correct. Then just left of center there, just behind the 100, is the 475. And then when we pan over here, look in the middle, what we can see over there is the big sheet. That's the 1000 right in the center there. Alright, that seemed to be a semi-reasonable 10-shot group. I would have expected a little bit better, but chances are it's me. But let's go push this out, 2, 3, 4, and let's see where we can go, see how far we can get with this. A 300 drop is 1.7 mils, so I'll just dial that in. I've got 3.7 mils of drop for the 475 yard target. See how accurate it is. So the drone battery ran out and I was swagging a little bit on that big target at 475, so let's try and get a tighter group at 475. So I'm a little bit low right, I'll make that correction. I'm going to move out to the 600. This light blue target is 600 yards away. Let's see what we can do with this short barrel. It's partially obscured by a fence line, so I'm going to go for a high center chest shot. Alright, it's dropping a little bit more than my data, so I'm going to give it an extra couple of clicks and go again. Alright, I think we've confirmed that it's reasonable at 600. Let's move to the 7. So I got a really obscured picture right now. I can see the head and just about the top of the shoulders. Because we made it metallic gold, it's blending in real nice to the Texas grass here. I'll get a shot in a second through the scope. But I reckon we can do it. I can't see the drone, so let's hope we don't shoot it. I've got 7 mils in my scope. That's what the data tells me I should get. I'll aim high center chest, see what we get. That second shot was a miss. Got a hit. Alright, we got 3 hits on at 7. I reckon let's push our luck a little bit and let's go for the 1100 yards. So we've got 15.7 mils according to the ballistic chart. So I'm gonna turn a lot. I'm just gonna aim for the orange dot, center mass, and see what happens. That was a hit, I don't know where. Another hit. I'll have to look at the drone footage to see exactly where it's hitting. Okay, I've got 5 shots left. I've got about 1 mil wind right there, so I'm going to dial in 1. Let me see if I can get that group a little bit closer to the center. It's also dropping a tiny little bit more. I'm going to add 2 clicks. So I think we can be pretty happy that this gun's pretty capable at near 1100 yards. People that say 13.5 inches isn't enough gun, and they're just wrong. So let's see what this can do at night with the infrared laser. Let's see if we can make this an overall hunting platform. So what's the conclusion on this gun? Well, overall, I think as it is, with factory ammo, so that I can go buy this ammo from any local store, and the fact it's got a 13.5-inch barrel, it's absolutely fantastic. I don't need to reload, and I can make hits at 700 yards on an IPSC target. I can make hits at 1100 yards. The thing's fantastic. I mean, was that expected from a 13.5-inch barrel? I don't really think it was. I think this is amazing for the length of barrel. Would I like to see it be a tighter group? Would I like to see it be a much tighter group at 100 yards? Yeah, I would. I think we can actually achieve that with reloading, and that's going to be my next experiment here, is making some rounds specifically for this gun. But with factory ammo, great gun. Really so far is doing everything I needed to do at the distances I needed to do it at. Honestly, if I was shooting 600 and 700 yards with a regularity, then I would be taking a different gun to this. However, this can do it. It can shoot acceptably at 700 yards. It can shoot to the degree where it's going to keep heads down at 1100 yards. 13.5 inches, fantastic. Really, really pleased with the gun. Overall, the LMT system works really, really well. Trigger's fantastic. Gun recoil is very manageable, especially with that heavy buffer. Gas blowback is excellent. Very little, if any, really, that I can perceive. Really, really happy with it. Overall, big thumbs up. Love this gun.